Yes.
Good afternoon, all. So let us continue with our first session. In this session, we're talking about the statistical learning. There are 5 topics that we'll be learning in this audit course about the statistical learning, and the main programming language that we'll be using over here is R programming. Before proceeding, let me show you the content that we'll be covering in today's and tomorrow's session. Just a minute. I'll open my the content which we'll be covering, and I'll be showing the things practically, but first few sessions are theoretical session, so the topics will be completely theoretical. See this. So statistical learning model using R, that is our topic name. So it's a framework for statistical learning. There is a framework for machine learning drawing from the field of statistics and functional analysis. That's why to learn how do we perform the statistical modeling here. And basically, we need to get familiar with the statistical learning, machine learning, which is very trending field in the today's world, and how exactly the statistics will help you to build the machine learning model and how to do the predictive modeling with the help of R that we are going to see over here. So from this, you can get familiar with data science, analytics, machine learning concept step by step, and even in the R programming language also. So total 6 topics are there that we are going to see in this. Out of it, 2 topics we will see today and 3 topics in the tomorrow session. The first topic, that is unit number 1, is focusing on the introduction to statistical learning. What do you mean by statistical learning? What are the issues which are connected while designing the statistical models, statistical learning methodologies here that we will see in the unit number 1. This is the complete theory part that we will see first. We'll get our point cleared with the help of the statistical and statistical concepts, statistical modeling concept, and issues connected with the same. And in the second unit, we'll see the detailing about the R programming. R is a programming language which is specifically used for statistical modeling and the machine learning and the data science also. Special language which is dedicated for the respective operation. So it will be an introduction to the same, getting started with R programming, where we learn about introduction to R Studio, user interfaces, how do I use it, basic commands, basic functions. So R is a programming language. Whatever programming language abilities are there, that abilities are present in R programming language also. Along with that, we will see data structures in R. What are data structures present, which plays very vital role in designing the applications of data science and the statistical modeling that we will see. Graphics, very big concept actually. A single name is given, but we'll talk about different kind of graphs, how to create and how to draw the data with the help of R programming language. And finally, reading the data into R. Which method we use to read the data into R? That is what we call a data import. Basically, to build the statistical models, we need to have the previous data present with us, and that data is used to build the model, predictive analytics. So two different kind of uh, learning methodology that we follow in statistical learning is supervised learning and the unsupervised learning. So in case of supervised learning, we are having prediction modeling, and unsupervised learning, we have descriptive modeling as well. How to use that also we'll see. And then unit number 3, 4, and 5, they are focusing on the concept of linear regression. First, linear regression is a kind of statistical model which is used for prediction analytics in regression concept. Then we see classification models like logistic regression and LDA. Okay, how to use logistic regression concept, which is the extension of linear regression. LDA is also linear modeling, which is used for classification. We'll talk about that also in detail practically. And the last unit, which is focused on the tree-based models like regression trees and classification trees. So in that, we'll see regression tree, classification trees with practical part. This is what we call a decision tree, and the algorithm is called classification and regression trees, which are used for performing the prediction analytics ahead, therefore the concept of regression and the classification. So both of this technique we will see. So last 2 units we'll see in the 3 units we'll see in the tomorrow session, because unit number 2 is very big. We need to understand the concept of R in detail, step by step. That's why we need to just focus on the core application development in R, because R is a programming language. So part of programming language, we need to understand many concepts syntactically and how it is beneficial to write the program. That also we'll see step by step. So let us start with the first part. What do you mean by statistical learning? Before statistical learning, we need to understand what we mean by statistics. We basically are having fear in mind about mathematics, including statistics also. That's why we used to run away from the same terminologies multiple number of times. But it's interesting and required for building the models of data. Okay, the models that we require in future are the models which does the prediction analytics, and it's now the base of current generation artificial intelligence algorithms also. Whatever AI algorithms are now available, they require the knowledge of statistics, they require the knowledge of mathematics also. So it's compulsory that we need to understand the statistical concept. Yes, what is statistics? Again, many important questions to know. Statistics is a discipline that concerns the collection, organization, analysis, interpretation, and representation of data. Five tasks are there which are done with the help of the statistics. Collecting the data. Collecting is not core statistical operation, but organizing data, analysis onto it, interpretation of that data, and presentation of the data is the task of the statistics. In applying the statistic to scientific, industrial, social problems, it is conventional to begin with statistical population or a statistical model to be studied. How statistics are basically applied to build the models and what's the meaning of it, that we will see. That in that one terminology I mentioned, population. Population means the data which is collaborated from different data sources. That's what we call a population. Populations can be diverse group of people or objects such as all people living in a country. All people living in a country is a population of respective country, or every atom composing a crystal. Because they are the part of crystal, they are the population. So individually they are separated. Individually every person is different, but they are combined with a common terminology that they belong to the same country or same nation there. That is part of population, which is very important concept which we use in statistical modeling basically. Statistics deal with every aspect of data, including planning of data collection in terms of design of surveys and experiments. So surveys, like we have seen, different surveys are released, like they found the effectiveness of different kind of vaccine. Okay, so they are not they didn't come to your home and they have checked that how the effectiveness of the vaccine is there, but still the results are received displayed. How it's done? Survey statistics are there, different methods which are taken from statistics are applied, and based on that the results are generated. So power of statistics actually. Important note, and most of the time the results which are given by them are 90 to 95% accurate, perfectly predicted there. So power of statistics again. And using this power, the learning from the data is possible. How exactly it is done, that statistics will help you. Let's see. So when census data cannot be collected, statisticians collect the data by developing specific experiment, design, and survey samples. Okay, experiments are designed, so they are having a special method by which it's possible to collect it. Representative sampling assures that the inferences and conclusions can reasonably extend from sample to the population as a whole. So random sample, for example, 100 people are present in okay, 100% or 100 people are present in a country. Like I will not go to every people, every person, every citizen of that particular country. So randomly, I will select few citizens randomly located. Maybe 21 location, 35 location, 52 location, 65 location, 91 location, like all, and we'll focus on their data only. And we assume that the thing which are applicable to them is applicable to the whole population also. This is what statistical operation does. So, an experimental study involves taking measurement of system under study, manipulating the system, and then taking additional measurement using the same procedure to determine the population manipulation has modified the values of measurement or not. So, applying to sample and population. So, 5 people I have collected, they are called a sample, and 100% people are called as collection, population. So, whatever analytics I have taken from the sample is assumed to be applied onto the population also. That is the common idea statistics uses. And using these concepts, we are having two different methods in statistics. They are called as descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Okay, we'll see the core difference in that. But let's see, descriptive statistics, we are having two different methods: measure of center tendency and measure of variability. Description is the difference is that in descriptive statistics, we use the whole data. We are considering whole data and we perform operation of whole data. That's called descriptive statistics, and the second part we call it inferential statistics. Inferential statistics focuses on sample and population. Rather than working on whole population, they will work on the sample only and will get applied to the whole population, which is called as inferential statistics. Depending upon the requirement, we are using the one, but practically speaking, in the world of machine learning or data science, we'll be making use of the descriptive statistics at max. Okay, what is that? Descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics is the summary statistics that quantitatively describe or summarizes the features of a collection of information, while descriptive statistics is in the mass noun sense is the process of using and analyzing those statistical measurements. Okay, distinguished from inferential statistics in that descriptive statistics aims to summarize the sample rather than use the data to learn about the population that is sample of data is being present. We apply your operation on the whole data set. Summation of the data sample is a summary statistic, or average of the data is a summary statistics. Standard deviation of the data, summary statistics. Like what? So you are applying your function on the whole data, that is called as a descriptive statistic. And the second part we call it inferential statistics. Inferential statistics, the process of using the data analysis to deduce properties of an underlying probability distribution. Inferential statistics infers property of population, for example, by testing hypothesis and deriving the estimates. So rather than working on the whole data, we work on a small set of data that is called a sample. That's called a sample that we basically use. Okay, so it is assumed that observed data set is sampled from larger population. That is what inferential statistics will work. So you can say inferential statistics can be contrasted with the descriptive statistics. Okay, so inferential works on sample, descriptive works on the population completely. That's what the difference is that you can see difference between. See, descriptive statistics used to describe, organize, and summarize information about the entire population. Okay, like we can identify, yes, in all, 90% people are satisfied with the same. Satisfaction of all the customers are taken. And inferential, okay, so we use some amount of data, like out of 100% data, we usually 5%, and we assume that this 5% outcome is applicable to remaining 95% also. It's used to generalize about population based on the sample of data. That is 90% satisfaction of sample of 50 customers. Okay, is applicable to 90% satisfaction of all the customers. And this is what is used in the surveys today. Okay, they will not go to everyone. They will use only 1% or 0.5% people taken as a sample from the whole population, and then results are generated, which is not much useful for building the statistical learning or statistical machine learning based model today. We'll talk about what is machine learning and how it is connected with the statistical machine learning. Now, why statistics are required? Now, statistics is finding the solution to many different problems in real world data science. Data science is a field where you work with the data which is collected digitally online. Okay, and that data is okay, but what operation to do with the data? Which features are important that statistics will show you? How should we design the experiment to develop our product strategy? Statistics will help you. What performance metrics should we measure or should we use to measure the performance of the particular system? So statistics will help you. What is the most common and expected outcome of the respective algorithm is there? Statistics will help you. And many more. What is the valid data and which is the noise data, which is anomalies, which is outliers? That will be identified with the help of the statistical measurement. And this is the reason why statistics is important for the data science application design here. See, a few things are there that we basically use a pyramid where we are having the data. Data is different and many more terminologies are present to the data. They are also different. We are collecting huge amount of data with us. We are having the ocean of data present all around. But do we use all the data? Not actually. We use only specific amount of data. We convert the data into information. Correct. And that technique we call data mining. We convert information into knowledge. Correct. knowledge to understanding, and understanding to the wisdom. This is what the pyramid we have, where data is at the base and all other are present. Data to knowledge to data to information to knowledge to understanding to wisdom. This process is completed with the help of the statistical procedure. So from data to knowledge, conversion is done with the help of the statistics. It will definitely help you to do so. So in isolation, raw observation are just data. We use descriptive statistics to transform this observation into insight that make this sense to us. Then we can use inferential statistics to study small sample of data and extrapolate our finding to the entire population. The second step that can be applied. But before that, from data, we have to extract this specific knowledge. So different terminologies which are used in statistical learning are like that. Population, the entire pool of data where we extract the statistical sample. What is the population? The complete data set present with us, taken from multiple angles, multiple sources, multiple different diverse kind of applications also. It can be visualized as a complete data set of items that are similar in nature. That's is possible. Population, we call it as. Then second is sample. Sample is a subset of population. So that is, it is an integral part of population that has been collected for analysis. Sample, just taken a sample, not the whole data is taken over there. Okay, correct. So if you want to check the blood group of your blood, your whole blood is not sucked. Remember, you're checking only sample of food. That is sample. Variable. Variable is a value whose characteristics such as quantity can be measured. It can also be addressed as a data point or data item. Data point or data item, that's called as variable. Fine. Next is distribution. Remember, distribution is very important and a useful concept in statistical modeling, but that can be studied as a separate unit also in the statistical part. Lot of distribution methods are there which will help you to identify how data is distributed, and based on that which machine learning technique you apply. The sample data that is spread over a specific range of values is called as distribution. Generally, we use normally distributed data in statistical learning. Parameter is a value to describe the attributes of complete data set, like population is containing average, percentage, that's the parameters. And there are two different kind of analytics present: quantitative analysis and qualitative analysis that we do. Now see, quantitative analysis will summarize the data, like I want to find the mean of the data. I want to find deviation in the data. I want to find variance in the data. That is called as quantitative analysis. And second is qualitative analysis. So qualitative analysis deals with the generic information about the data, means how clean or structured the data is. That can be identified with the help of qualitative analysis, the second method present over here. Okay. Now statistical inference. Statistical inference is a process of analyzing the result and making conclusions from the data subject to random variations. Inference we call it. So it's also called as inferential statistics that we have talked about just. Hypothesis testing and confidence intervals are the application of statistical inference. Hypothesis testing means you're having some idea in mind, some model in mind. If I give this input, then I can expect this kind of output. Means you are a scientist and you are putting this kind of theory over there, and you have to prove it. So this is what we call hypothesis. And if you want to test that hypothesis correct or not, so then we use the method, and that's called as hypothesis testing. Fine. And inferential statistics, which is the application of it. So inferential statistics is a method of making decision about parameter of population based on some random sampling. Randomly you are collected it. I will not go for all. That's what inferential statistics is. And in inferential statistics, the terminology which we use, they are connected with a sample. Everything is sample. It allows us to provide a probable range of values for a true value of something in the population. So they will not consider the whole data. Randomly will take only 1%, 2% data from the whole, and then we'll work on that and assume that whatever finding we are having applicability to the population. Remember, in inferential statistics also, for example, in 100, whatever 100 people we are having, and randomly are selected some data, like I will selected number 7, number 23, number 37, number 58, number 72, and number 98. And I have find the average of all. Whatever number I mentioned, average of all is nearly equal to the same average that 100 person are containing, nearly equal to the same. So we can assume that the random sampling or the result that we are getting from random sampling is almost applicable to the whole population. Our efforts are minimized. Minimized means almost 100% efforts are minimized to 1% effort only. That's why inferential statistics are important. Okay, so that's what components which are used for making statistical inferences are size of the sample, variability in the sample, and size of the observed differences present over there. Size of the observed differences. Now, let us come with a terminology is called as statistical machine learning. Statistical machine learning. Machine learning is a terminology and it's a subset of artificial intelligence today. Maybe if you have heard about it multiple number of times, maybe if you have seen a subject of study also, what is machine learning. We'll talk about that machine learning in detail and then we'll see how statistical learning and machine learning are connected together. Now, the methods used in statistics are important to train and test the data that is used as input to the machine learning model. Machine learning is something like when you use the previous data and in that data, what kind of statistical behavioral model is present that is found. And with the help of that model, you do the prediction. See, what has happened in past and what will happen in future that can be used or predicted with the help of the machine learning models there. And there, in machine learning model, there are many techniques, statistical methods we require, just like outlier detection, anomaly detection, sampling data, data scaling, encoding, missing values, data cleaning, and many others. They are required. So, machine learning itself is a statistics. Basically, see, two terminologies we basically use: statistical modeling and machine learning. See, statistical modeling and machine learning terminologies, though names are different, the literal meaning of both are same. The difference is that statistical modeling was used in the last century. At the end of last century, they used to pray for statistical modeling, create the model of statistics in this data. And now today, as the computing power is enhanced and computer are now possible, for computer now possible to do the predictions and take immediate actions. Now they have given the name as machine learning to it. But terminologies are same. Statistics is also essential to evaluate the model that has been used. So we use the previous data and we find, see, remember one thing that statistics and machine learning or mathematics, whatever is that, whatever is happening in the world, anything which happen in the world, there is a math present in it. Something, some kind of mathematics is there. Maybe linear algebra is there. Maybe some transforms are present. Many different kind of transform you have heard about. Maybe some kind of calculus is present. Maybe some kind of arithmetic operation are present. Maybe some type of trigonometry is present inside, but it's present there. Something is there. Anything which happens, that's why our brain recognizes it. Same way, computer can also recognize it. But we need to understand the statistics to work with that. That's why statistical learning is important. So statistics is also essential to evaluate the model. So we build a model. Your computer can understand the mathematical model present in that behavior. What exactly model is present? We'll talk about that example in the next session. That is linear regression, logistic regression, how exactly they find the connectivity and do the prediction that we will see. So in such cases, we build the model. Model means is like a software, say. Okay, that is which is given as input. We'll build a model. We'll do the predictions ahead with that respective data there. That's it. But how to know that model is present or model is perfectly working there? There also we require the statistical methods present there. That's why statistics is essential in selecting the final and appropriate model to deal with the specific data and in the predictive modeling situations. There are many different data analytical methods present. Out of it, predictive analytics is something where you build the model which is used to do the predictions ahead with the respective data or the novel set of data that you are applying as input to it. It's also needed how well the model has performed by taking the various metrics and showing how the model has fared. What kind of, what effectiveness, speed, optimized result the model has shown, that will be identified with the help of the statistical measurement again. So let's see how descriptive statistics is basically used. So when you have to learn the data learning, remember data learning. So how data distribution is there that we need to learn. So to learn the data, descriptive statistics help us to do this operation. So it summarizes and organize the characteristics of the data set. Like in quantity approach, after collecting the data, the first step of analysis is to check the descriptive statistics of responses. Like what is the average of variable? What is the average of variable? So you can find, yes, data is present all around what number? What is the average of it? Or what's the relationship between two variables? Age and creativity. For us, correlation techniques by which this correlation is a descriptive statistics method actually, which applies on the whole. You can identify that. Is there any correlation between the dollar price and petrol price? Can you find? Statistics will help you. Descriptive statistics will help you, or not. That will also help you. Or some census information will also contain some correlation present in that. Like many such kind of problem, means some kind of data, and the connectivity between them can be found with the help of descriptive statistics. In descriptive statistics, there are three different measurements are used that we use in statistical learning also. See how the data distribution is present. Distribution concerns frequency of each value is there. How frequent the value is present in the data, or some central tendency measurements are there. Central tendency means like I want to, we think of some mathematical function that we can apply on the whole data. Which function we can apply on data? I can find sum of the data. Correct. I can find average of the data. I can find minimum value from the data. I can find maximum value from the data. I can find range of the data. I can find median of the data. I can find most frequent value from the data. This is called as measure of central tendency. The technique that you apply in the whole data by which the data understanding is possible. See, the process of building the machine learning models, the first step is business understanding and second step is data understanding. So before actually applying or creating any machine learning model, we need to understand the data, how data is distributed, how data is organized, what plus and minus point data is containing. That we need to understand. So measure of central tendency, which is the second point mentioned here, will help you to see that. We'll talk about them practically also when you start coding with R. I'll show that. And third, variability or dispersion of the data. How data is spread. What's the spread of data is present there? Is it containing any anomalies present in it? Or is it containing some extra values, very highly impossible values inside it? Like that. So solution to this kind of problems can be found with the help of descriptive statistics. Okay, we'll see one example of it. We can apply this to assess only one variable at a time in univariate analysis, or compare two or more by using bivariate or multivariate analysis. Okay, univariate analysis means you apply the data on single column, single set of values. And multivariate bivariate means you apply on the whole set of data. Just like I want to see the correlation between two variables, that is bivariate analysis that we can use. So descriptive statistics will help you to find the collection relation with the data. Let's see one example of descriptive statistics. You want to study popularity of different leisure activities by gender. Leisure activities by gender. You distribute a survey and ask participants how many times they did each of the following in the last 1 year. So when they have visited the library, how many number of times? It's distributed. Then they watch the movie in theater. Very interesting question, very rarely they are present now. And last, visited the national park. Right. Now, your data set is collection of responses in the survey. Thousands of people have given the response to you. Correct. Now we can use the descriptive statistics to find out overall frequency of activity. Overall frequency of activity. That will show you the distribution of the data. Before lockdown, after lockdown, how the changes are made. That distribution we can compare with this. And you can identify what effect is actually made on these activities because of pandemic. That we can find. It's called a distribution can be seen. Then we can find the average of all these activity. On average, the people have visited library 3 number of times, and before lockdown it was 22 number of times, for example. So we can find that on average. Average is important to know, because everyone connection which is not the good idea to identify. So average will show. It's called as measure of center tendency. And then the third, the spread of responses in each activity. It's called as variability. Spread means standard deviation basically. Standard deviation means the average value from the mean. Average deviation from the mean is called as standard deviation, which also you can find. You can identify, yes, how much variability is present inside. That is the spread of the data can be found. So this is what the descriptive statistics will help you to find the answers of it. Now, let us see terminology in detail. What is machine learning? So machine learning is completely a novel terminology which is based on the statistics. The algorithm names which are mentioned initially as a part of syllabus, that is part of machine learning. Linear regression, logistic regression, linear discriminant analysis, decision trees, regression trees, whatever, all they are the part of machine learning now. Machine learning is an application of artificial intelligence, is an application of AI that provides a system the ability to automatically learn and improve. Learn and improve means whatever learning is given, so it will learn by itself. Okay, automatically learn and improve from experience without being explicitly programmed. So without programming, they will learn from the data, build the model, and will do the predictions, or will make the decision of their own. Will make the decision of their own. That's what the machine learning will do. And machine learning is focuses on development of computer program that can access the data and use it to learn from themselves. They will learn from themselves. That is what the machine learning will tell you. How do we learn? How human being basically learn. Someone is teaching us and then we learn. It is okay. I am teaching you, you are learning. But this learning is not even 10% also. How do we learn? We learn from experience. Why do we have practical? Okay. Why do we have practical? Because we learn from experience. We have to gain the experience to apply the respective operation onto it. That's why we learn from experience. Same way, computer algorithm will also learn from the experience. That's what machine learning will do. So the process of this learning begins with observations or data, such as examples, direct experience, or instruction, in order to look for pattern in data and make better decision in future based on examples that we provide. Whatever examples we provide. So in that example, we'll be having previous experience. Experience means input and output. Both are given in that. Means when input was that, then what was the output present there? Okay, so that kind of data we are providing over there. Decisions are also there. Means when this kind of situations were arised, so I have made this decision. Second situation arrived, then I have made this decision. Like that, input output both are given there. And in that, machine learning will find a pattern. When the pattern is found, then it can do the predictions ahead with the same data. So the primary aim is to allow computers to learn automatically without human intervention or assistance and adjust the actions accordingly. Automatic learning is done from the data. So from data, we are converting the data into actionable knowledge format with the help of the machine learning technique there. And here the learning is automatic, where human intervention is not required, assistance is not required. Even whatever model is created, they are having ability to learn by themselves. They will adjust the actions accordingly. That's what the machine learning will help. Now, relation between statistics and machine learning, that also is. You see, so what are the origin of machine learning? Origin of machine learning are we itself, human being itself. That earlier databases recorded information in the observable environment. Like astronomers recorded the pattern of planet and stars, or biologists noted results from experiments. So they have recorded something. Whatever observation that they got, they have recorded. Everything is recorded. And they create a database of it. Just like disease outbreak also we have seen. So there is a pattern present in that. This pattern is identified by the machine learning, and they will use this pattern to the prediction analytics side. Like for example, if you know the Halley's Comet, so Halley's Comet is visible after the gap of 76 years. 76 years is a gap of multiple generations basically. But astronomers have recorded that after 76 years. So they have found it afterwards that there's a gap of 76 years exactly present. It was seen previously in 1986 and before that 1910. And before that 76 years ago it was seen. See, what we have done, we have recorded. We observed, recorded, observed, recorded, observed, recorded. And after that we find a pattern in that. There's a pattern present. And using that pattern, we can do the prediction. Now, when the next time the comet will be visible? Yes, we know that now. Because pattern is found. This is what the machine learning actually does. Today, such observations are increasingly automated and recorded in systematically ever-growing databases. So we are growing with the database. We're having huge amount of data with us, and we are having huge great computing power also with us. And with the help of it, this kind of models can be found and can be created so much easily. This is what we can see the difference between the traditional computing that we see that we do today and the machine learning based modeling that is possible there. See, in the traditional computing, we can see data and program are given as input. So whatever program we have, to that program we are assigning the data and we are generating the result. Like for example, I want to find a factorial of the number. So we are giving 5 as the input to it, and I'm having a program to find the factorial of the number. So that data will be given as input to program. We'll find the factorial and it will generate the result. Correct. Traditional programming that we have done already. Almost every programming language what we do, we use, then we apply the traditional computing, traditional programming over there. Correct. Now, what is machine learning? Machine learning, you can see that output is given as input, means data that we have, and accordingly that data, what output was generated, that is given as input to the respective algorithm there, computer there, sorry. And relationship between data and output is formed and program will be created. So it will create a program to check the factorial present in that. What's the factorial is there? What's the factorial of the number present? So program will be created. How to find the factorial? Will create the program of it. That's what the machine learning will tell you. So great idea of algorithm design is present into the machine learning there. And let us see how the statistic will help the model to learn or build the machine learning models here. So machine learning is a field of study interested in development of computer algorithms for transforming data into intelligent action. Data into action. This is what the transformation is done. Transforming data into action. Can I convert data into action? Yes, machine learning will help you. But machine learning is the triangle. 3 different parts are there with machine learning is present. So machine learning requires the previous data. That is available data. We are having the data present with us. We are available with some kind of data, some sort of data present with us. The previous experience should be present. Okay, and to find the predictable pattern inside it, we are using the statistical methods on it. This is what you can see over here. Statistical methods are used. So in this data, what kind of pattern is present? Okay, to find the answers to this question, we'll be using the statistical methods on it. Right. And then how do we automate that? Yes, we can make use of a computing power to automate it. We are making use of a computing power to automate this task. Computing power means what? Programming language and hardware. Software and hardware that will be used. So this software will use the data, will build the statistical method, and based on that, we create the model of the respective data ahead. That is what we call as the machine learning triangle. Machine learning triangle, which is used. And here, again, in machine learning, statistical methods form the base of designing the algorithms there. So they are having ability to learn by themselves, but we need to identify what kind of data is suitable for what kind of statistical method, and based on that, the particular machine learning model is created from the same. This is what the common idea of machine learning is. Maybe if you have heard or you have learned as a separate subject in the previous semester, Okay, this is a common terminology that we are using. We'll talk about the same thing also again with the help of data and collecting with the practical there. Now, how do we combine the statistics and machine learning now? Machine learning and predictive modeling are the computer science perspective on the modeling data with a focus on algorithmic method and model skills. Many different names are there. Statistical modeling, I told. Statistical modeling itself is a machine learning. Predictive analytics, machine learning. Data analytics is described, presented in multiple different parts. Data analytics, predictive analytics, statistical analytics, diagnostic analytics, prescriptive analytics are there. Out of which predictive analytics is a machine learning. So multiple names are given to that. You can use any of the name as per our understanding there. So machine learning and predictive modeling are the computer science perspective on modeling data with focus on algorithmic methods and the model skills. Statistics and statistical learning are the mathematical perspective on modeling data with a focus on the model or on goodness of fit. Goodness of fit means you should be having a perfect model created. At max as possible, accuracy should be present inside. That's what statistics will help you to build a perfect model over there. Machine learning practitioners must keep an open mind and leverage method and understand the terminology from the closely related field of applied statistics and statistical learning present behind. They are, we can call them as a siblings, closely related siblings. Almost same way they work. Siblings is they are twins. Twins are there. It's almost similar properties or behavior that they are having, and based on that they do the prediction analytics ahead. Now, what is statistical learning now? Now, the process of working with a data set and developing a predictive model is the task of task of statistics there. Statistics. So, obviously, statistics also works on the data. If data is present, then only you can apply the statistics, obviously. And because of that, we build a machine learning model with the help of statistics. Right? Machine learning also requires the previous data. Now, a statistician may have traditionally referred to activity as applied statistics. Applied. Applied means application-oriented statistics, basically. Statistics is a subfield of mathematics, and this heritage gives a focus of well-defined, carefully chosen methods, a need to understand not only why specific model was chosen, but how and why specific predictions are made. Why? How? Different kind of question to ask for. And their solution is given by the statistical methods, models to us. Okay. So from this perspective, often model skill is important, but less important than the interpretability of the model. In the model means you build an algorithm, and that algorithm is using the data and doing the predictions ahead. That is what we got as a model. And statistical learning will be used to learn from the data. And once the learning is done, then we are having many phases to do. We are going to check the performance of algorithm. We are going to see effectiveness of algorithm. We are going to see the prediction power of algorithm. We are going to see the optimized result generation of the algorithm there. That's what statistical learning will definitely help you. So it may be the statistics equivalent to predictive modeling, where model skill is important, but perhaps the stronger emphasis is given to the careful selection and introduction of the learning model. So many n number of models are present, n number of algorithms in statistics are present, but which algorithm is suitable for which kind of model, that is the important skill to choose from. Careful selection and introduction to the model is required. So, statistical learning refers to a set of tools for modeling and understanding the complex data set. This is to note down. Statistical learning. Set of tools, maybe algorithms are there, used for modeling, building the model, building the machine learning model, and understanding the complex data set. Understanding complex data set, so it's only three words are there. There are many possible statistical methods are present by which you can understand the complexity of the data set. You understand what exactly the thing present in the data set. You understand what exactly the data want to say to us. Remember. So it is recently developed area in statistics and blends with the parallel development in computer science, and in particular with the machine learning. Statistical learning is helping machine learning to build robust and most perfect predictive modeling algorithm by which now today's artificial intelligence is driven. Yeah, so let's see the difference in terminologies present in that. When we talk about machine learning, we talk about statistical learning. See, in machine learning, we call as a network algorithm, graphical algorithm, or we can say equation-based algorithm. But in statistics, we call it as a model. That's it. The difference is there. Model. Then in machine learning, we call as a weight. In statistics, we call them as a parameter. Like in a function, when you pass something, we call them as a weight. Statistics, we call it as parameter. Machine learning, we call as learning, and statistics, we call as fitting. Okay. Learning, statistics, we call as the fitting. In machine learning, we call as the generalization. Generalization means you build a model and you apply the data which is not seen to the algorithm because it has not seen that data. You apply that data and check the performance of it. Generalization. And statistics, we call as test state performance. Okay, now in machine learning, we call some terminology like supervised learning. Supervised learning. Supervised learning means you are building a model which is used to do the predictions ahead. We are using this data to perform the predictions ahead. That is part of the supervised learning. And in statistics, we call it as the regression or classification. So two methods are there. Regression is a method by which you generate the continuous valued output, and classification is a method where we generate the categorical output. That's what classification regression names are there. These names are there in statistics, but in machine learning we call them as a supervised learning. In machine learning we call it as a unsupervised learning, where we are not going to do any kind of predictions. We are just finding the pattern inside the data, which is called as unsupervised learning. But in statistics, we call it as a density estimation or clustering. Density estimation or the clustering. Many techniques are there. Rule mining is also present in statistics. Data mining basically views, okay, like that, and many more. Like you can have the large grant presently that can be differentiated, or nice to have a meeting. Like many specific names are used, but in statistics we use a common name for all of these operations there. Like, so that's what is statistical learning. Terminologies are the statistics and machine learning we basically use. Now, what are the applications? What are the different methods we use for statistical learning? Machine learning is a single part of statistical learning there, but along with that, 10 different processes are taken in statistical learning to build a robust machine learning model for predictive modeling there. So which are that? These are, the first is problem framing. Second is data understanding, data cleaning, data selection, data preparation. These techniques are enhanced by statistical modeling that we will see step by step. Then model evaluation, model configuration, model selection, model presentation, model predictions. 10 total applications of statistical learning are there in data science, in machine learning also. Now, how statistics will help in the respective state. So whenever I'm building a model, prediction-based model, machine learning-based model, see, I'm having a data of stock market for a particular company. Yesterday, what was happened for a particular company? What are the price of stock, start, close, like all? I'm having previous data for last 6 months, say. And using that data, I want to do the predictions. What will happen in tomorrow's case? I want to do the predictions. Previous data I'm having, I'm doing the next. So getting data and applying it will not help me. I want to perform many different operations which are present in statistical learning over here. 10 are there. Maybe few are applicable, few are not applicable. But these are the generalized applications, generalized method that we apply in statistical learning to learn from the data. Model building is okay, but data is taken, applied, it will not help you. So what techniques are methods? What techniques or methods are present inside it? Let's talk about them. That's the industry. First is problem framing. Under problem framing means we have a data, and on that data, is it actually really possible to build the model? That we have to identify. We have to check what kind of data is present. Is that data is useful? if the data is perfectly well framed, well organized or not, that you have to identify first. That is called as exploratory data analysis. Exploration, we explore the data and we find novel insights inside. So summarization, visualization of the data can be done in exploratory data analysis in order to explore the ad hoc views of the data. We just check, yeah, temporarily I'll see, yeah, data is perfectly running, so I can make use of that particular data. Hey, second, data mining. Data mining, it will automatic discovery of the structured relationship and pattern in the data. So maybe the whole data is given is not important for me. I need to understand. I need to get only specific type of data from the same. That is called as data mining. Okay, we convert data into information format. Called data mining, that will be present there in the problem frame. The first step. Second, understand the data. How data is well organized that we can understand, we can get from the same. That is the first step is called as summary statistics. Okay, where we can summary statistics means here descriptive statistics we can say. It contains the methods which are used to summarize the distribution and relationship between variables using statistical quantities. I can see, I want to see if there are outliers present in the data or not. So I can see mean and median of that data. If they are same, no outliers are, the data is normally distributed. I can find that. We can see what is the standard deviation of the data. We can see variance present in the data. How much is that? Like all summary statistics, we'll understand, we'll give you a clear understanding of the data there. Then data visualization. Visualization is also one of the most important aspect of data exploration also, by which it contains the methods which are used to summarize the distribution and relationship between the variables using visualization such as chart, plot, and graphs. We will see that how to do this visualization using a programming and how to find the relationship present inside the particular data over there. Data understanding. Next is data cleaning. Okay, so what is data cleaning? Data is taken and maybe data is containing some missing values. Data is containing outliers. So we have to repair this data. So identifying and repairing issues with the data is called data cleaning. Some statistical methods are used for data cleaning. So for example, first is outlier detection. Outlier is an observation which is away from the crowd. Away. Like all the ages of your class are from 18 to 22 and one person is there whose age is 35. Outlier, remember. So that also they are basically exceptions also. But these outliers they are having ability to change the results. So statistical method will help you to check the outliers present in the data. The method for identifying observations that are far from the expected value in the distribution, that are called as outliers, that can be detected, that detection is required. And imputations. Imputation means if data is having missing values, so we impute that. So method for repairing or filling or in the corrupt or missing values in the observations, called as imputation, data cleaning is done over here. So outlier detection, data imputation, these two methods we basically apply to clean the data. Next, data selection. Whole data is not given as input to the statistical models. We select a specific features from the same. Data sample, we call. So method for systematically create smaller representative of sample from the large data set. If I'm having 100 columns in that, out of 100 columns, I'll choose only 5 columns, which are beneficial for me to build the model. Like for example, I have a data set where student information is present. Roll numbers are there. So roll number will not affect the marks of student. What is it? Roll number will not affect the marks of the student. It is just a serial number there. It is not important. That feature is not important. We can discard that. So feature selection is a method by which you select the most important data for building the final model. So feature selection contains the methods to automatically identify those variables that are most relevant to the outcome variables. Most relevant to the outcome variable, which is called as the feature selection method. Feature selection, feature extraction, feature projection, feature reduction. Many such kind of methods are present here. Then next is data preparation. Again, data is not given as it is to the algorithm. So we do some kind of operation like scaling, where we normalize the data, where we standardize the data. Normalize means magnitude of whole data will be taken same. normalize the data without changing their internal relationship. But a scaling, feature scaling basically, standardization and normalization, these two methods are there, which we apply to scale the data. In normalization, we scale down the data in 0 to 1 range, and standardization, we use a z-score method of statistics by which you keep the deviation of all data set common, that is equal to 1. Encoding, one hot encoding and label encoding are present there, by which string data is converted into number format. If you have a string data, statistical method will not work on that. We convert it in number format. Transformation, like we are having some power transform, like box method is there, by which you transform data from a specific format to another format as expected by the algorithm there. Yeah, this is what the data transformation. Now see model evaluation. When you build the model of machine learning, how do we know the model is perfectly working or not? We have to evaluate that. So some experimental designs are there. I will see that in the practical also, how do you evaluate these models. So methods to design systematic experiment to compare the effect of independent variable on the outcome, on the dependent variable, such as which machine learning algorithm to apply and which is having highest accuracy present from the same. That is what design will help you to do so. And second is resampling method. So method for systematically splitting a data set into subset for the purpose of training and evaluating particular model. That is what is the resampling method that we use over here. Then model configuration. Okay, so the machine learning model that we have created, that can be tested and can be configured well with the help of some hypothesis test. Generally, we call it as the hyperparameter tuning in machine learning. Okay, where we use some statistical hypothesis test by which you quantify the likelihood of observing a result given an assumption or expectation about the result. Basically, statistical methods are there by which you find the p-value, the probability values of the respective model present over there. And then estimation statistics, which contain the methods that quantify the uncertainty of result within the confidence intervals there. And next is model selection. Model selection. So one among many machine learning algorithms may be appropriate for a given predictive modeling problem. The process of selecting a method is called as the model selection, which is the most important model, most useful model involved in that. So there also we can use two methods to perform the model selection. So this may involve the suite of criteria, both from stakeholders in the project and careful interpretation of the estimated skill of the method evaluated for the problem. So two methods, statistical hypothesis test will be used, or estimation statistics is also there. Just like in previous case we talked about, same method is applied over here also. Next is the model of presentation. How do we present the model? So once the final machine learning model is trained means you apply the data, model is created for training. It can be presented to stakeholders prior to being used or deployed to make actual predictions on the real data. Actual data we apply and just check the evaluation of it. Is it perfectly working or not? So there also we use the statistical learning method. So part of presenting a final model involves presenting the estimated skill of the model. And finally, we do the predictions. We do the prediction or predictive analytics ahead with this particular modeling there. Finally, it comes to start using the final model to make predictions for new data where we do not know the real outcome. This was happened previously, and now what will happen in future? That's what we are going to do, the model predictions. So as a part of making predictions, it's important to quantify the confidence of the predictions. How much confidence is there? Confidence means accuracy, we can say. Output is okay. I got the output. What is accuracy? 100%, 90%, 80%, whatever. 50% that will be done. So as a part of making predictions, it's important to quantify the confidence of the prediction there. That is important. So just like the process of model presentation, we can use methods from the field of estimation statistics to quantify this uncertainty, such as confidence intervals and the prediction intervals. Okay, many such things are involved in the statistical learning that we must know, we have to know, and based on that, the final machine learning models are created. So these are the practical part actually. We are not having that in syllabus, but statistical learning It's containing all of these methods to apply, then only better, robust, efficient, optimized machine learning model will be created that will better help you to do the predictions ahead with the respective data there. Now let's summarize it. Exploratory data analysis, data summarization, data visualization can be used to help you to frame predictive modeling problem and better understanding of the data also. That statistical method can be used to clean, prepare, and ready for data modeling. And the statistical hypothesis, test, and estimation statistics can help in model selection and presenting the skill and predictions from the final models there. Let us see a common summary of all. What is that? Statistical learning is something like statistics plus machine learning is your statistical learning. So statistics is a subfield of mathematics, machine learning is a subfield of computer science or artificial intelligence. Correct. And here we combine statistics and machine learning together. Correct. Then why focus on? Statistics focuses on building model with explicitly programmed instructions. And machine learning focuses on creating a system that learn from the data. And what we have statistical learning? Set of tools for modeling and understanding the complex data that we can do. What's the purpose of it? Purpose, statistics is inference or finding relationship between the variables. Machine learning, optimization, prediction accuracy. And we combine together in statistical machine learning, statistical learning basically. Then, statistics, prior assumptions. Some knowledge about the population is usually required. Machine learning, no, as it is taken over here. Next, dimensionality of the data. How many number of features you require over there? Dimension. So usually statistics applied on low dimensional data. Machine learning applied to high dimensional data, but it learns from that. Okay. And finally, knowledge overlapping. So no machine learning knowledge is required for statistics, but it's not true for machine learning. We require some statistics knowledge usually needed, and it's basis for the algorithm. Almost every algorithm is in machine learning is having a basis of statistics that we need to know. And based on that, we build a statistical learning, knowledge of statistics and machine learning. Both are required here in the statistical learning model creation there. Let's see how to do this operation. So we're having a programming language here, R, to do the operation.